In the global economic arena, where rising costs are a constant source of tension for consumers around the world, there is one fascinating outlier: China. The world's second-largest economy is experiencing an intriguing situation: a steady drop in prices. It's like a strange economic puzzle. So why is China, a big and powerful economy, experiencing this unusual situation while others face rising prices? In today's video, we will go to the bottom of this mystery and discover the many reasons why China has run into deflation. Let's get started. Imagine China's economic recovery like a thrilling roller coaster ride, full of unexpected twists and turns that have kept even the experts on the edge of their seats. Now that the pandemic is starting to calm down, it seems like China's engine of growth is slowing down a bit. It's like fireworks, which aren't lighting up the global sky as brightly these days. And people back home are being a bit more cautious with their spending. There's a plot twist. The real estate market in China is usually a reliable pillar of financial stability, but lately it's been behaving like a rebellious teenager. This situation in China could really shake things up economically. If that happens, get ready for a wild ride on the Economy Express. Get ready, because what goes down in China doesn't just stay there. When there's a hiccup in the world's second-largest economy, it's like a ripple in a calm pond that spreads to distant shores. It looks like global businesses might have to reconsider their strategies, and as a result, consumers all over the world might notice a slight decrease in their wallets. What's going on with China's economy? Just think about China's economy as a super-fast train that took off with a bang after the pandemic. It looks like the train is starting to slow down a bit. Let's break it down. Have you ever noticed those things that China makes and sends to other countries? They're not selling as quickly as they used to. It's as if they're trapped in traffic. China's sales to other countries took a huge hit in July 2023, dropping by a whopping 14.5%. This is actually the fastest decline since the COVID-19 pandemic started. It seems like people aren't shopping as much these days, and there's definitely some tension between countries that's making things even tougher. Things aren't going so great at home either, unfortunately. Just picture the housing market as this huge puzzle piece that's really causing a lot of trouble. Yeah, it seems like people aren't really jumping at the chance to buy and invest right now. Even regular folks like us are being a bit more cautious when it comes to shopping. It's kind of like when you're being careful with your pocket money because you're not sure what's going to happen next. Before moving on to what happens because of deflation to the job sector, keep watching the video till the end, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos like these from us. Speaking of jobs, imagine young people aged 16 to 24 searching for jobs like playing a game, but it's not fun. So in June 2023, the number of young people looking for jobs in cities reached a record high level of 20%. Can you believe it? When it comes to shopping, it's kind of like a slow dance. In July 2023, sales increased by a small amount, almost as slowly as a snail. The prices of things we buy actually went down a bit. It's kind of like a sale, but not exactly. All right, let's talk numbers. It looks like China's economy is projected to grow by 5.3% this year and 4.7% next year. That's definitely an improvement from last year's 3%, but not quite as impressive as it was before the whole pandemic situation. The clever folks over at China's bank had this brilliant idea to make borrowing money a little cheaper in order to give the economy a nice boost. Pretty smart move, right? Maybe offering special deals for companies or making taxes easier could really give the economy a boost. Is China's deflation a cause for concern, and why? China's economy is a bit like a puzzle, and at the moment there's one piece that's causing some trouble. It's called deflation. That's when the price of things we buy start going down instead of up. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Even though it may seem like a positive thing for our wallets, it's actually a clear indication that the economy isn't doing too well. Companies start to get worried when prices drop. They might decide to wait before creating new things or investing. Also, people start to consider, things might get even cheaper, so let's wait before buying. When there's a delay in spending and production, it can really throw off the economy's pattern, kind of like a hiccup. China actually faces an extra challenge with this. When prices decrease, it becomes more difficult for them to manage their debts. Imagine a situation where you owe money to someone and all of a sudden the money you have becomes more valuable, but your debt remains the same. Well, that's exactly what's going on with companies and local governments. So they actually owe some money, but the interesting thing is that the amount they owe has increased in value. It's like they're stuck using their money to pay off debts instead of using it to help the economy grow. China is already carrying quite a bit of debt, like a big stack of bills. Their debt is actually almost 3 times the size of their entire economy. That's even more than what the US owes. It's kind of like when you're carrying a really heavy backpack and you're trying to balance at the same time. Well, the good news is that this deflation might not hang around forever. There's a chance that prices might increase again, and we might see some improvements in certain sectors of the economy. However, the main challenge for China's leaders is to break this cycle where prices drop. People wait before making purchases, companies hesitate to produce goods, and everything slows down in a chain reaction. How might China's slowdown and deflation risk affect economies and businesses? If the Chinese economy were a giant wave, its decline would have a negative impact on all surfers. It's interesting how the slowdown is impacting countries and businesses in different ways. It's kind of like a mix of sunny and cloudy days. When China's growth slows down, it can actually have a negative impact on companies that sell products to China, and even local shops as well. It's definitely not a fun situation for everyone. China is really into high-tech toys and fancy gadgets, so sellers of those might notice a decrease in buyers. Also, countries like Australia and Latin American nations that sell raw materials to China might start feeling the pressure. But here's the good part. When things made in China become cheaper, it can actually help lower the prices of the things we buy. You know how when a store has a sale, it can make your wallet very happy? It's kind of like that. Guess what? The interesting thing is that the cost of manufacturing goods in China might actually decrease, and as a result, their currency could potentially lose some value. This can actually be helpful in slowing down the rise in prices all over the world. It feels like a cool breeze that's keeping the prices down. Another positive aspect for Europe is that with China's slower pace, there could be less competition in the energy markets. This would be really beneficial for European countries, especially since they don't really like it when energy prices suddenly go up. There's some concern that the arrival of cheaper Chinese products could potentially impact businesses from other regions, but there is no need to worry too much. To see a significant impact, prices would have to keep dropping for quite a while, and currencies would need to become weaker, so it's not something to lose sleep over. It looks like China's economic slowdown could have varying impacts on different countries, kind of like a mix of rain and sunshine. It's kind of like a puzzle that we're all trying to solve together. Is a lost decade possible for China's economy? China's economy is going through a bit of a puzzling situation that just doesn't seem to fit right. It's a bit of a mess in the real estate sector right now. The financial markets are pretty unstable too, and people just aren't spending as much as they used to. It's making people concerned that China might experience a lost decade similar to what Japan went through in the 1990s. One major issue that exists is that there are just way too many houses and not enough people interested in buying or renting them. It's like a seesaw that's stuck in the middle with too much supply and not enough demand. Did you know that China's population is actually going through some changes? It turns out that there are fewer young people and more older people now, so it looks like the demand for houses and real estate might not recover anytime soon. Comparing Japan's trouble in the early 1990s to the current situation feels like looking at two completely different pictures. China's problems right now aren't quite as big as Japan's were in the past, but there are definitely some similarities between the two situations. It's possible that China won't be able to return to the rapid growth it experienced prior to the pandemic. Actually, it's true that the population is getting older, and that definitely comes with its own unique challenges. But it's not all gloom and doom. China could totally figure out a way to grow more sustainably. They don't just have to keep building stuff, they could explore other ways to grow too. It's all about finding a balance, right? It's kind of like finding new paths instead of always sticking to the same old road. There are some people who are worried about a lost decade in China, but maybe all it needs is some out-of-the-box thinking to solve the puzzle and put the pieces back together in a new and exciting way. It's kind of like a challenge that's waiting to be solved, and China is figuring out the best moves to make. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more interesting upcoming videos.